costs thousands of dollars for wedding invitations.
Thousands?
Mm-hmm.
What the?
Everything for a wedding, they just like upcharge you.
That's so dumb.
Anyway, I just saw something about that. I guess my algorithm has changed to wedding because they're just like, it's time.
Come on, you old bitch.
Welcome to Guys We...
Greetings, human beings, people of planet Earth. What a time to be alive, huh? You got to get involved in this one. Welcome to another episode of GWF.
The podcast you love to listen to and watch.
I love it every time.
I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show. If you want to send us an email, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube at Guys
baby.
without the and And I'm at Philanthropy Gal on all social media.
I'm at Krystyna Hutch.
I'm at Eric Freddy.
Together we are Guys We, without the,
You get it. You just find it. You can type in the whole thing, but we'll come up. Well, it's fine. We just can't say it. Are you? Yeah, I was like, because I have been tracing the YouTube the whole time, and for all the times that we said the word just demonetize. So we have improved. We have it. It has improved.
Yay.
It has improved.
Keep watching us on YouTube, guys.
Absolutely. This subject line says, "Help my best friend married the world's biggest." So there should be punctuation. It should be, "Help! My best friend married the world's biggest." I never used her like that, but okay,
I wonder if she's from England.
Yeah, because I was like, it would just be like here. But hi, Corinne and Krystyna, ye old here. I've been a faithful listener since around 2014 and a luminary subscriber since the beginning.
Thank you.
I could write this entire email about how instrumental you've been to my growth and to becoming the badass woman I am today, but unfortunately, I have a more pressing issue at hand. I've never written in before, I know, yikes. I'm proud to say that I've been able to navigate most of my personal problems with my own internal compass, along with a healthy dose of what would Corinne and Krystyna say, logic. Again, thank you for that. This one, however, is something I don't believe I've heard you talk about, and I'd love your input and perspective on the situation as I'm driving myself a bit crazy here. I am a 30-year-old woman with a long-distance best friend. We have known each other since we were 2 years old and spent so much time together growing up that our relationship is closer to sisters than friends. I am an only child, and she has two brothers that are a bit older than her, so our relationship was very close and special to the both of us. She would come on vacations with my parents and me quite often, and I would spend most weekends at her place. She lived on a literal cattle ranch about 45 minutes away from my town in Montana.
Nice.
Which I have heard is the most beautiful state.
I go.
But our parents were also best friends with each other, and childhood was a miraculous blend of classic GameCube era video games mixed with ridiculously fun and often dangerous outdoor activities. Unfortunately, we ended up going to college in different states and then moving elsewhere, so we have actually never lived in the same exact place at the same time. Nevertheless, we've stayed very close over the years. We have always loved playing video games together, and thankfully, this has made it so we can pretty much always hang out as long as we have an internet connection. To this day, we spend around 2 to 6 hours a week playing games together.
That's cute.
With a good chunk of each session taken up with just us simply gabbing away before we even pick up a game to play. Obviously, there are ebbs and flows in this routine, but I can honestly say that I am closer to her than many people are with their in-person friends. We also make an effort to visit each other in person as much as possible, but it usually ends up only being once every couple of years or so that we can make that happen. But she is truly the most valued and treasured friend and someone that I cannot imagine not having in my life. Now, the problem, and of course, it's a man. My friend, I'll call her Annie from here on, got married just under 2 years ago. Let's call her husband Keith.
Oh, you hate him.
I am also in a wonderful relationship with my fiance, who I'll call Jake.
That's the name you give for a guy you like.
But also, maybe Annie hates Jake. We don't. Maybe Annie's writing her favorite podcast
About
Jake. For reference, I just turned 30. Annie will turn 30 in a few months. Jake is 28, and Keith is 34. Jake and I are getting married later this year, and I'm proud to say that he is not only an absolute diamond in the rough of a man, but also a GWF listener and fan.
Okay, we like Jake.
But this isn't about the lovely Jake. It's about the world's biggest doucher, Keith. Annie and Keith started dating during the tail end of the COVID lockdown, and I never heard much about him besides the fact that she liked him and the relationship was going well. I thought little of it initially. Yeah, because usually in my experience, hearing less about a relationship is better. Like that means things are going better.
Right.
About a year or two into their relationship, I started dating my now fiance, and the four of us planned a group vacation to meet in Vegas for a music festival.
Cool.
It was the first time I'd seen Annie in around 2 years, and the first time Jake and I were meeting Keith. I genuinely looked forward to meeting him, as I thought that any man that was good enough for my best friend to date would likely be a true gem. Wrong. I mean, has that ever? I don't think I've ever.
I don't think that's ever happened.
I've never been impressed by a friend's boyfriend ever. And there's ones I really like that I'm really good friends with.
Wow, yeah, I don't think so either.
And again, I will reiterate, some of my best friends, their girlfriends, amazing. Now my dear friends who I text regularly. Anyway, he was fine at first, generally polite, and seemed like a nice enough guy, though I struggled to see exactly why she liked him beyond that. He seemed boring, unfunny, and somewhat annoying.
Damn.
Oh, well, there you go.
Maybe he was packing.
With either an inability or unwillingness to read the vibe of a conversation. I brushed it off, though. I wasn't the one that was dating him, so I didn't need to fully understand her attraction.
You are correct.
And I think that's really good. There's a difference between like thinking someone is a bad person and just being like, they're not my cup of tea.
Sure.
There was one thing on this field trip that I found to be a bit of a red flag, however. Annie is a very introverted person who is not comfortable at all with PDA. Anyone close to her would know this. Even so, when the four of us would be hanging out on the couch of our Airbnb in the evening, he would make literal kissy noises and talk in a baby voice to tell her to come snuggle me, baby.
No. Oh God. Ew.
A man doing a baby
vomit
voice
on your shoe. A woman doing it. Unless you are talking to a baby, even that is a little
Ick. It literally sounded like he was calling a dog.
Oh, gross.
We could all see how physically uncomfortable this made her, especially that this was happening in front of Jake and me. But Keith didn't notice it or didn't care, and Annie would kind of silently go sit with him every time.
No.
He would then continue to make the kissy noises and use the baby voice, and Jake and I would just do our best to look away and pretend it wasn't happening to try and spare Annie some embarrassment.
Y'all would be like, why are you talking like that?
I again brushed it off, the voices of the two of you ringing in my head, telling me that I can't make her decisions for her.
Girl, you do listen.
That she needed to figure this out for herself. And also, like, making baby voices is like uncomfortable. It's not criminal. It's not abuse.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
There, I could see someone being like, "Well, I like everything else about him, but this is like kind of
this is like a Friends episode plot.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. I figured that she was letting these less than ideal things slide because she maybe wasn't that serious about him, and I would probably never see him again, or just because it's not, in the big scheme of things, it's not a big deal. Even though, like, in a group setting, it's appalling.
Terrible.
Wrong again. The next year, I got a text from Annie with a link to their wedding website.
No.
This was the first I was hearing of any engagement or anything of the sort. I asked when they'd gotten engaged, and she told me that it had been the summer before our Vegas trip.
That's weird.
So apparently,
weird.
I had met Keith as her fiance.
That's weird. Why? That's weird, dude.
Annie had introduced him to Jake and me as her boyfriend, and neither of them had been wearing rings.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, men don't usually wear engagement rings, but right. I hear you. I was a bit shocked and sad that she hadn't shared this with me before, but I again told myself to not make it about me and to be happy for her. But I'm still human, so I did some light investigating and found out that she hadn't told anyone about their engagement.
That's because you talked, will you marry me?
Not her parents, not her brothers, not any of her friends, until she just sent out the wedding website link in lieu of a formal invitation. I've heard this is like becoming a thing, though. A lot of people are doing digital invitations now because
that makes sense.
It costs thousands of dollars for wedding invitations.
Thousands? Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Everything for a wedding, they just like upcharge you.
That's so dumb.
Like, and if you have a calligrapher, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I just saw something about that. I guess my algorithm has changed to wedding because they're just like, it's time.
Come on, you old bitch.
I'm not I was like, I don't know why, but it's trying to tell me something.
No weddings or baby things on my algorithm. That's so funny.
I'm not a stickler for wedding tradition by any means. Right. My fiance and I are fully eloping this fall and bucking almost all traditions. But it did seem strange that she kept the news entirely to herself for over 6 months. I will say this is something I would do. I would tell him.
You would.
I would do
You
this.
showed up to my parties and be like, I'm bringing my boyfriend of a year.
100%.
I'm like, a year, goddamn, or whatever.
What?
You've had boyfriends for a long time. I remember one time you showed up at my party. I'm bringing my boyfriend. We've been dating for like 6 months. I'm like, go ahead.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was so excited.
It made me wonder if she perhaps wasn't very excited, but I pushed that worry aside and knew that she needed my support regardless.
You're right.
There was no bachelorette party or any other pre-wedding events, so the next time I saw Annie and Keith was at their wedding.
Interesting.
It was overall a very fun time since we grew up so close. I know her parents, brothers, and some extended family very well. And my parents and, of course, my fiance were also in attendance. The only thing that gave me pause was the vow reading at the ceremony.
Oh, no.
My favorite part.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Annie's vows were full of love and admiration for Keith, describing specific things about him that she loved and the ways he was important to her.
Aww.
I'll admit that at that moment, I was leaning much more towards liking him as her vows were so beautiful. Surely I'd come to notice these lovely things about him too. Then came his vows.
No.
They were almost entirely about himself.
No.
I mean, this is key. You know, this is prime heterosexual male. I mean, this is.
But I've been to so many weddings where the guy's vows were lovely.
You're friends with artists.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, all your friends. This is like you're friends with like very
poets, literal poets.
Yeah. It's just different vibe.
Yeah.
They were almost entirely about himself. How much better taken care of he was with her in his life. I mean, this is my exact thing that I talk about with the anniversary post. This is that, but in wedding vow form.
Yeah.
How he missed her company and her cooking when he was away.
He said, I miss her cooking in the vows.
And I do
I mean, that's a love language. It could be.
Yeah,
for
and I
sure.
think that many people would find this flattering. Generally how much his life had improved with her. Like that's like, you know, I am so much better with you. You have improved my life greatly. That is like a classic heterosexual male notion. And I do think they think that we like that.
We don't.
I've heard worse, and I know that this is very typical a man way to view relationships, but I couldn't help but feel like those vows could have been about any insert woman here. Well, yeah, because any woman could have been standing there at the altar, because that's what heterosexual love is like. It's kind of what we've been saying.
It's a podcast you'll have to listen to, guys.
Kind of what we've been saying for years, that you could literally just it's
replace.
It's just when the man is ready to get married, it's who's ever in the vicinity. That's why that clip went viral on TikTok, because everyone said, fuck.
Yeah. Oops.
I had really hoped for better for my best friend. And of course, I think it's hard because she's your best friend. So it's kind of like, is anyone going to be good enough for her, you know?
Sure.
In your eyes. But of course, I kept this to myself as she seemed happy.
Yeah.
My opinion of him really took an irreparable nosedive last month. My birthday is just a few days after Christmas and has often been overlooked in my life.
That sucks.
My fiance, however, treats my birthday like the most important day of the year, and we celebrated my 30th last month, and that's a big one. He arranged to have Annie and Keith come visit us for a few days as a surprise for me. You know, a better surprise would have been just Annie.
No Keith.
Which any girl would have understood, but that's okay. Your husband did the best he could.
He tried.
I was so excited as I hadn't seen Annie in person since their wedding, and there was always such a fun, childlike spark between us when we get to see each other in person. They planned to stay with us, which I found a little odd since we don't have a guest bedroom.
That is weird.
But I happily offered what we have, a couch and an air mattress.
Didn't think of your fiance. Didn't think of that part.
Yeah. Before I get into what happened during their visit, I will admit that I can be very protective of my space.
Girl, same.
Yeah, didn't your husband know that?
I know. Yeah, I hate when people say that.
Or fiance. I don't love having visitors for an extended period of time. I'm a massive introvert and my home is my sanctuary. Mm-hmm. My fiance and I have curated a lovely and cozy space full of books, movies, art, and other things that we love.
Nice.
From the moment Keith stepped in the door, the little comments began. Wow, you guys sure love your little knickknacks. People make comments about that my house like that all the time.
Really?
And yeah, because I am, I'm a maximalist and minimalism is very in with millennials. Oh. And just so you know, I don't say this out loud, but when I come to your house, in my head, I'm thinking, wow, I'm at the most boring person alive's home. Thank you.
Yep. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong.
I am your couch is tan? Oh, wow. Innovative. Who even needs DVDs anymore, guys?
Whoa.
Have you even read any of these books, or are they just decoration?
Okay.
Books are great decoration.
I would tell Keith to shut the Fuck off.
Oh my gosh, not a whole lot of room to move around, is there? And I would have said even less since you're here.
Yep.
Annie just laughed it off once again and complimented our space. I mean, if my boyfriend said that to my best friend, I would take him I would say, "Excuse me, we need to have a chat." And I would take him outside and I'd say, "You are out of line right now.
No more goldfish for you."
You are out of line. Keith plopped his ass down on our brand new couch and started describing the new house they just bought, how nice it was to own instead of rent. Jake and I live in a rented apartment, how great it was to have a guest room and 2 living rooms, how he couldn't imagine going back to renting. Again, Annie laughs and Jake and I just try to ignore it.
Oh, Annie.
The gall.
Oh my God.
Later, Annie and I had the idea to replay one of our favorite old video games from our childhood, and that admittedly does not age well, but that's part of the charm, of course. Yeah. It's not easily available anymore, so Jake, being wonderful as always, spent around 2 hours scouring the internet and jumping through technological hoops to get it running for us.
So sweet.
We were delighted and invited the boys to play with us. About 5 minutes in, Keith started complaining about how shitty the game was, how bad the controls were, how he couldn't believe we actually liked this stupid game. We ended up shutting it off for after an hour or 2.
I would have told, this is the beauty of getting older. I would have paused everything and go, "You shut the fuck up and go stay in a hotel. You're not welcome at my house anymore. Get the fuck out."
But then you run the risk of not being friends with your best friend anymore. That's the problem with that. I think that's why a lot of people don't do it.
I mean, me and Mimi, it's in a year.
I feel like this happens sometimes where it's just like people will just find this like gross codependent person that they can just like
it's happened to me.
Kind of in a gross like kind of relationship in their own world.
Right.
And then it's everyone else, it's like a stink that like comes and everyone else around them is like, you guys are the worst together.
Yeah. Well, it is hard because not in this same way, but like I do classically love to date a man who you cannot bring in public, and it's my word against everyone else's real life experience. So not going to hold up in court. But like I do, not in this way. This is like nitpickiness. I hate like someone who's constantly like commenting on stuff and nitpicking. That drives me crazy. And I know this type of guy, but I definitely have had an array of boyfriends who are you can't really bring in public. This email is getting a bit long, and I could vent forever about the accumulation of shitty little microaggressions. Exactly.
Yeah.
Keith sprinkled over my birthday celebration, so I'll just rapid fire a few of the worst things he did.
Yes, let's go.
I walked out of my room on the morning of my birthday, and Annie and Keith were sitting on the couch. Annie immediately said happy birthday to me. Keith did not look up from his phone, did not say anything, and pretty much immediately left the room and closed himself in the bathroom. Ew. You're going to take a shit on your birthday?
Or jack off.
He did not say happy birthday one time that day. Every time Annie would be sitting next to me instead of him on the couch, he would repeat his baby talk kissy voice that I first noticed in Vegas, pulling her away from me whenever he could. So there's a power struggle here. He bumped into our table when getting up from the couch, knocking food and drinks onto our rug, and then just kind of chuckled and again went to shut himself in the bathroom. Does he have a gastrointestinal issue?
Well, no, she's jerking off.
Well, Jack, Annie, and I rushed to clean up.
Oh, wow. Didn't even fucking try to clean it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He started an innocuous argument with me, and then when it was clear that he was losing, changed the argument entirely and said to me, quote, "You should try knowing what you're talking about before you open your mouth."
I know who you voted for, Keith.
Yeah, that's combative. When he was hanging out with only Jake while Annie and I were on a girls' day for my birthday, he told Jake that Jake needed to crack the whip more.
I know who you voted for.
When it came to me. Jake said that he told Keith to shut the fuck up about me.
Love it.
But that he didn't want to start an even bigger argument with him that could potentially ruin my birthday, so he mostly let it slide.
Fuck it.
He demanded to be driven to the mall to shop around and then proceeded to say how small and shitty our local mall was. This was among various other little comments about how much better his city is than ours, as if anyone asked. And despite the fact that they stayed with us free of charge, got free airport pickup and drop-offs from us, and free rides around the city, he did not offer to pick up a single tab or anything in return. It was only Annie who would suggest buying a round of drinks for us or something along those lines. I'm not a huge stickler for things like this, but it really does feel like a cherry on top when you add up everything else.
Totally.
Overall, it is very clear that he doesn't like me and is most likely threatened by the closeness of mine and Annie's relationship. Exactly.
He sucks. He fucking sucks.
He's extremely insecure. He takes things at me whenever he possibly can, but the worst part is the way he openly disrespects his own wife and her closest friendship and the fact that she seems perfectly fine with it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She is a very non-confrontational person, but I never thought she would allow things like this to happen with absolutely no pushback. I would never try to break up my friends' relationships, let alone a marriage. So I'm not writing to ask you about that. But my question for you two is there a way to think about this that I'm missing? I mean, I'd have to meet the guy, I think.
Yeah.
Can I mentally frame this differently?
It's a tough one. He fucking sucks. I have such a low tolerance for this type of guy, so I'm not a good person to ask, because I would just tell him, what is your fucking problem, to your face?
She also, it also could be you've only, when we're talking about a scientific experiment, there's usually needs to be a variable, and you would need to see him in a variety of situations, right? To gauge how he actually
with his friends.
And you don't have any variables in this situation because it's just you.
But
and it seems like the power struggle that he is acting so badly because of is the struggle for Annie's attention and affection that is going on that you are not a part of. I mean, you might be a little, honestly, you might be a part of it a little bit. I don't think you're the aggressor in any way, but I'm guessing that because you are human and you love her, that you naturally do, whether or not you're doing it on purpose, assert yourself for, her affection and are protective of her in some ways.
I mean, I would be doing that, which would piss that guy off.
I think mostly any friends would.
Yeah.
Can I mentally frame this differently? How should I respond when Annie texts me complaints about him?
Okay, good. I'm glad she does that. I'm glad she doesn't just fucking pretend that everything's great.
I mean, what kind of complaints I would say, little things, big things. I know that she's just looking for me to trade my own frustrations about my relationship back and forth with hers.
Is she? Or does she want to fucking vent?
But I simply don't have anything like that to say about my partner, nor do I really wish to justify or downplay Keith's shitty actions.
Nor should
I will say, and this is not an attack, but I will say, this email was primarily about how you're worried about your best friend and how shitty her husband is. But the language, I am not questioning that your fiance is amazing, but you almost are you almost did oversell it. And I don't know if you're doing that to show the juxtaposition between Keith and Jake. But I would just watch that you're not bragging about how great.
Oh, to Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because it's
I mean, she could see.
And also when things are great,
happening.
we don't need to really be talking about them a ton.
Yeah.
There's just no need.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering if maybe just Annie senses that.
Yeah,
this relationship is just a different caliber.
I don't know. But just be careful of that, because I don't know if you notice it. And again, it might be because you genuinely feel that way. It probably is, but it's kind of
something to watch out for.
It's going to piss other people off, especially when they're unhappy. So there's just no need to. It's not I can't. It's not I'm not saying you can't share your joy about your happiness, but you're you made
maybe not the time.
There was a sentence earlier that was a little over the top where you were just Jake, as usual, came and was the most. It's no one fucking wants to hear that. It's just fucking annoying. I'm in a relationship that I enjoy, and it fucking annoyed me. Just I don't know.
I understand what you're saying.
And finally, do you have any advice for how I can keep this from negatively affecting my relationship with Annie? To be honest, her choice of partner and her willingness to brush off his actions is making me lose a bit of esteem and respect for her. Well, yeah, I mean, disrespecting you is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That she's just kind of laughing it off and not saying anything.
Insane. That's fucked up.
Which I hate. But I also can't ignore her role in all of this.
Yep.
She's actively choosing to be in this relationship too. And again, I do wonder if maybe it's not as glaring to her because his behavior is worse, the worst around you.
Oh, right.
I would, you can't do this, but I would love for you to be able to observe them on a dinner alone or something. I doubt it's that different. This seems pretty this guy is he's bad all the time. time. It can't be that
And, like,
markedly
if
different.
if I fell in love with somebody and I had the opportunity to meet their best friend, I treasure that person because you are the best friend of this man I love. Let's fucking go, dude. What do you like? What is your life like? Like, what do you want to do? Like, I would be so, I mean, I know, everybody's different, but like, it's just, Jesus Christ, Keith. Fucking sucks.
Yeah. Should I just continue to pretend he doesn't exist as
can't.
much as I can?
No,
or
it's
am
gonna
I just
build up.
overreacting because I'm too close to the situation? Any perspective on this would be much appreciated. I mean, listen, like, oh, and there's pictures. Wait, I got to look at these pictures for a second.
One of Keith, Annie, me, and Jake, left to right. Keith. Keith. Is that Keith? Oh, yeah, at their wedding. This is kind of blurry. Damn it. Yeah, I can't zoom in anymore.
Left
Nah,
to
he
right.
doesn't.
Keith looks like more what I thought Jake would look
Yeah,
like.
exactly. I thought that. Wait, let me make sure I'm right. Left to right.
Yeah.
One of Keith, Annie. Yeah. Yeah, wow. I wouldn't have thought that that's what Keith looked like. He doesn't,
and
he
you-
doesn't come off as a douchebag in the photo like immediately.
Yeah, because I would almost like if I was like, who goes together? I would you look artsy, Keith looks artsy.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to hear that.
And Annie and Jake look more like traditional, like just like a regular,
Your
people,
dog's
and you look
very cute.
artsy people.
I don't know, man.
I mean, first of all, have you said nothing about
Right.
the behavior? You got to say something if this is your best friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here, okay? I didn't, because obviously I didn't read this email until Corinne read it out loud. But I would almost be like, yo, Annie, I want to bring this up and I don't know how. I just don't want to hurt your feelings because I love you. Your husband sucks.
Well, you could even
sucks.
But if you don't know, that's like kind of a big statement to go in with. But just go. Can we talk about what happened on my birthday weekend? Like I was so excited. I was like, coming in with your husband sucks is a little hot. That's a little hot.
But it's like, how can you not know?
Yeah.
Like I had a friend when I was first dating Steven that said something about him, and I got offended, and at the same time recognized you're not wrong. And I did that.
Was it one of your friends who
Stephanie.
was I was like, who's okay? So someone who's kind of like known for that
Yeah.
fits her personality.
Yeah. She doesn't exaggerate. She doesn't,
Right.
And I was like, I didn't want to hear it, but I also agreed.
How long into the relationship?
A year.
You knew it a year in?
No. He had already lived with me, so he was a year into living with me. So maybe 3 years in.
But you stayed together for 7 years.
I know.
Well, because
Had a problem.
but the thing is, and I mean, like, like, that's a great example, and I was thinking of that because it's like,
No one liked him.
Well,
I don't know that he did stuff like this.
but he was outright he was outright rude to me. We have audio recordings of it.
Yeah.
And
I just blacked out. I'm like, oh God.
yeah, so in those
So maybe
times,
she does that,
it kind of is. It's hard because it's like, I understand where you're coming from because it's like you love both of us, but it's like, yeah, fucking, I was like mad.
Yeah, as you should have been.
I was
as
like,
you should have been.
but
sorry,
I'm
sorry
like,
about that.
it's like I'm someone who can like. It doesn't seem like she's someone who can advocate for herself.
Yeah.
So like,
she's younger. I mean, she's what? You're 30, 28 or something.
I mean, I was younger at the time.
yeah. I mean, what? And I mean, maybe this will give you some perspective because I'm just not like this now. When
Right.
that happened on the podcast, I blacked out and went to another universe. I wasn't even there like that because it's all childhood shit. But like, I don't know if she's doing that. But she might, because how can you be that?
Right, but even though I hear
his-
that's for like that's not going to help the writer. Like so, because it's like I hear that, I understand that, but it's like it's still not going to keep friendships
Right.
intact.
I'm just
Your
trying to
friend
say-
is still going to be mad at you.
Yeah, and I think you got to have a conversation.
And I think you have
gotta
every
have a
right to
conversation.
be like upset. Like, I mean, we
Yeah.
expect our friends to hold court for us, to defend us, to stand up for ourselves. And, like for me, I'm just like, I'm just sitting across being like, you're going to come to this podcast is half mine and you're
Yeah.
fucking talking to me like this. And talking to someone rudely on their podcast is like coming into their own home. It's really like, it's the same thing. But you this is your best friend though. So you have to be comfortable enough with your best friend to say to her, yo, your husband was really rude and disrespectful to me on my birthday. And not that she is in charge of his actions. They are separate humans, but this is someone she chose to, enter a legally binding agreement with. There has to be some, there is some ownership she has to have over his behavior.
Sure.
Sure. And so just you have to say something. It seems like you've said nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
you got it.
And then you're just like stewing over it, and it's just going to become larger and larger and larger. You know, again, like I think we've pulled apart some of where it's coming from. His insecurity, this power struggle. These are all like, recognizable human dynamics, but like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she fell in love with this guy. It seems like she had a nice upbringing. I don't know, just based off of the very tiny things you've told us about her. Yeah.
I have no idea how people get into relationships like this. I don't know what her relationship history is. Like, do you know, I'm guessing you know previous boyfriends. Also, another thing that I was thinking about is like, you're best friends, right? But there is a long distanceness there. And I know you talk a lot, but it's like, just because you talk frequently doesn't mean that you talk deeply.
Sure.
And like, are you kind of it seems like you go back to childhood with her. So is it like, are you like reliving this? Is your bond based on reliving like nostalgia? Or is it in real time? Because I feel like you might kind of just be like the friends that go to each other to have this childlike play, which is incredible and super valuable. But that a lot of times means that you don't really know where she's at now. Like, you just don't, you might not know. And she might have like grown into a person that you don't fully understand who she is
And
now.
a question you could ask her that is not like coming out of the gates hot, like my initial suggestion is like, what do you?
I mean, I love it, but
yeah.
It's a risk. It's a risk.
Sure, totally.
It depends on the dynamic of your relationship.
And I think that also comes. The reason I say that is I come from a place of like I've dated a guy who sucks for 7 years. No one liked him, and everyone was pretty honest about that with me. But I was so like in the dark. I kept myself in the dark about how much he sucked, despite the friends saying things.
But you really liked him, and when I observed,
I really did.
And when it kept going on, I was like,
it did.
I was like, all right, well, I got to learn how to tolerate this,
Thanks,
and
girl.
I did. And
you did a great job,
and
you didn't have to.
And I found parts of him that I, because like
he's talented.
When we talked one-on-one, I found him to be way less annoying.
Right.
we would find things to speak about, and he was like knowledgeable about a lot of like pop culture or cinema and books, that kind of thing. But like I also observed you when you guys were together, and you genuinely seem to have a bond and a back and forth.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing.
And I gotta say, he did suck, but we did. We did have a bond. It was just like, and I don't even know how you can.
But you couldn't have possibly felt like he
I didn't feel like he sucked.
Like you felt like, I think it's like you felt like he sucked around others, right?
Yeah.
He also just like kind of wasn't a going out person, and I think people who aren't going out people sometimes like overcompensate in group settings. And makes it seem like worse. And so I actually do have like empathy.
Like he doesn't know how to
him.
maintain like manage power dynamics in a group setting.
I understand that. I get that, because I also don't find big group settings enjoyable either. So I get that. Like I get when you were like, oh, he doesn't like to go out. I was like, I get it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say maybe ask your friend, hey, what made you fall in love with him? I don't know much about your relationship.
Right.
So like I would love to know, like, how did you guys meet? I do think it's weird. I can totally understand.
He does seem Trumpy too. You're 100% right.
Yeah. Getting engaged and not telling anybody for a minute. I totally get that. But like 6 months and you've already introduced him as your boyfriend, but then he was actually your fiance. That's weird to me. Like to me, I'm like,
because what's
up with that?
Was she getting constant negative feedback about this guy?
Maybe.
And then she didn't want to tell anyone from other people.
Or she wanted to see what her friend thought of of Keith.
Yeah, because there is something weird there. And because I know she's introverted, but it's like there are people who just keep a lot private, like me.
Yeah.
And then there are people who I keep private because I don't want people's opinion, or I don't want people's like energy on me. But then there's another reason to keep things private, which is what you fear the truth.
That's what I do, kids. That's why we make a good team.
So so I mean, those are two different reasons, though.
Yeah,
and one is fine, and one is not.
And as a person who historically has feared the truth, I don't really think I do as much anymore. But like really feared the truth. That is that type of fear will keep you in denial.
It's debilitating, I would imagine. Yeah.
Oh, it's awful until you can't handle it anymore and everything comes crumbling down. So that's why it is probably better to enter this conversation as like, what do you see in him? Because, and can I be honest with you? I found him to be really frustrating. And I found that, my birthday would have been so great if just you came. But because Keith was there and his remarks, did they stress you out? Because I got to be honest, they stressed me out.
Yeah, he was, and this is like fine because this is not like you're meddling in the relationship because he was straight up rude to you.
Yeah.
He was rude to you. He was disrespectful of your home. He said inappropriate things to your husband about you.
You got a lot of knickknacks. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, and like those are nitpicky, but I mean like the crack the whip. Tell her that.
And the mouth, he said
That
something
was
about the mouth.
fucking crazy.
What did he fucking say about the mouth?
Watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth. When a man says
was
watch your mouth to a woman,
infantilizing.
exactly. I'm like, he thinks he's talking to a little girl.
And like there is, it's like, there's an age gap there, but it's not so big that like, it's not 15, 20-year age gap here. It's like what, 5-year age gap or something. So it really shouldn't, not that it's appropriate at any time, but it's not even like in the realm of like possibility that it is coming from a more innocent place.
Yeah.
Like what is like 29 and 34 or something.
Yeah, that's not. It's not.
It's not. There's sometimes when you're dating someone so much older and you're like, all right, well, just sometimes they're going to talk to you like your dad because this age gap is just obscene,
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
Worth investigating with your friend.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, do you have any fear that she's actually like
In danger?
being abused in any way?
My like little spidey senses say if she's not now, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for her future. Like, please don't get pregnant by this fucking man.
I mean, they're probably going to. Good thing he's not that big of a guy.
Keith needs it for his self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean,
Keith needs therapy.
Keith needs a lot.
Keith
more.
needs to do a hero's dose of psychedelic mushrooms under the care of a psychologist. But
And also,
he's
like,
never
if
gonna do
you're
that.
so friendly with the family, talk to one of the siblings or
right.
something.
Right, because you know what? I've had my best friend that I don't talk to anymore. I was super close with her family, and I could tell her mom, like, yo, is she acting? I was go to her mom, like, why is she acting like a bitch? Like, and but that was okay. That was okay for everybody involved.
Yeah,
because that's the kind of relationship we had. So take advantage of that if that's the case.
Yeah, especially because the long distance, it's like I don't know how like do you really know what's the extent of what's going on?
But like the friendship you have with this woman is so special. It's so special. So you know what? If he's not going anywhere, then you can set boundaries in terms of like, can you just visit me, just you? I'm sure she would kind of like that actually.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like? I mean,
I don't want to bring my fucking boyfriend to visit my friend.
I don't want to hang like when I hang out with my friends. I don't want to bring my boyfriend because I just want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, that's how I am. But yeah, my boyfriend always brings me to hang out with his friends. But and I'm like, that's great. His friends are really cool. But I'm like, I want to hang out with my friends alone.
Yeah,
and he's like, okay.
Like, you know what? Yeah,
that's just I don't know. Girls are also women have.
We need to be talking freely.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
Like I feel like men are hanging out and women are like really having like a visit.
They're getting somewhere.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. Sorry, Eric.
No, it is way different.
I hope you have deep friendships.
Yeah, but that stuff just kind of comes up randomly. There's never an agenda.
Oh, there's never an agenda to actually discuss
Males
feelings.
hanging out.
Yeah. Whereas like when girls are like, we're gonna get together and we're gonna talk about this.
Figure this shit out, girl.
We're gonna figure out what you're doing with your life.
We're gonna discuss the options and weigh
Over
the best
grilled cheese.
outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, grilled cheese.
It'll just be sports, normal, whatever the thing is, and then just my dad died,
that sucks.
or whatever it is.
Oh my god,
that sucks.
It sounds hellish.
You know, it doesn't sound hellish. My Patreon, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. Once a week, we get on Zoom, and we've been talking a lot. This last conversation, I do want at least one weekend Zoom a month, and we have been having really interesting fucking conversations about how we can best show up in this moment of time that we find ourselves in. We're in a very pivotal moment in history, and I think it's nice to talk about it with like-minded people and not like-minded people. We all happen to be kind of like-minded. And it's so funny. You came up a lot on the last Zoom, Corinne, because everybody was saying that you're their litmus test for when they should freak out. Like, well, if Corinne's still calm, we could figure out a way to still be calm.
Well, I mean, like.
I mean, you have to be calm in these types of situations.
What are you going to do?
Exactly.
I'm not. I mean, there was two weekends ago. I spent truly, when I say 48 hours watching ICE videos and crying, just pacing my apartment. I did, but it's like you got to go out and do stuff because I don't subscribe. Like a lot of people in our like spheres are like, make sure to just take care of yourself and take a bath. I don't do that. You guys know I don't fuck with that. Oh, you need self-care? All right, well, talk to me when ICE is knocking down your house. Like, it's just, I just don't feel like at this point, like, yes, of course you have to take care of like your own life and stuff, but it's like, take an honest look at yourself, and if you're really actually going through hardship, and then get back to me. That's kind of my thing. It's just like, it's like, you need to take a bath because why? Because you watched someone get detained by ICE? Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Learn Spanish and hit the streets.
Honestly, yeah. I'm trying to learn Arabic. It is not easy.
God, Jesus, yeah.
No, I texted my friend I'm like, 1 to 10. How hard do you think it would be for me to learn? She's like, probably 7. I'm like, that's not a 10. It's not a 10.
I was like 7 is actually
But
lower
Google
than I would have
Translate.
thought because it's not even the same alphabet.
Well, New Sanctuary Coalitions, they have a class on Google Translate. But that's also how I was talking to some of my castmates from Florida, man, who couldn't speak English. We were just using, honestly, ChatGPT. And we had great
Google Translate is
perfect conversations.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, having just gone to Japan where plenty of people didn't really speak English, I thought I was going to be using Google Translate a ton. I didn't have to use it once.
Wow,
I got
really?
through seamlessly.
Nice.
Body language, pointing, facial, like smiling, and you can get a lot done. And like knowing 2 words of Japanese, I got a lot done.
God, language and speech just in general can really just it can get in the way. Anyway, once a week we hop on a Zoom and we talk. You could share something fucking fucked up you're going through, or something you've been thinking about, or how do you plan on showing up in this moment. And I gotta say, I've been talking a lot about the Bell Hooks book and masculinity and what healthy masculinity looks like, and what dangerous masculinity, toxic masculinity looks like. And there's so many guys in the Patreon that show up and they just have really fascinating things to say. I love the way their brain works. I love their presence. And I'm like, fucking A. Everybody that comes to these Zooms is just like a person that really gives a shit about how they show up in the world. And I cannot tell you how much that means to me. I mean, it's really cool that the listeners of Guys We Fucked are just fucking people that give a shit. They give a shit about themselves, and they give a shit about how can they individually make the world a better place. And I think that's really important. So patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. And
if you want to learn more about, if you want a listicle every week about things that ICE has done, but while also still keeping your finger on the pulse of why hasn't the Epstein list been released, and then also taking over Greenland, and then also Trump being pseudo president of Venezuela. I mean, and it goes on and on top of the state of the environment, the state of animal welfare. I mean, how can I go on? Municipal happenings, all that and more I present to you every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Without a Country. Head over to the YouTube, subscribe. There's also a Patreon if you want to help support the show and critical thinking and research. And, just be very careful whether or not you are a listener or a subscriber to Without a Country. It's really important now to make sure, especially with AI, that when we are ingesting information, we know that it is correct information. You need to trust your sources, and most times if a story is only being picked up by one outlet, there's a very high likelihood that it's untrue. I would say make sure before sharing information, make sure you can find it in 2 sources. Use critical thinking. Just because something is in a left-leaning or right-leaning media outlet doesn't mean that you should mindlessly agree with it. You are a person on the planet. You should hopefully by now have your own code of ethics, things that you stand by, things that you stand for. You know the difference between right and wrong. You know the difference between fact and fiction. You have eyes. If you see a video, you can see what's happening. You don't really need it explained to you. These kind of things are very important in this moment. And, I do have to say, I do think this is a time when if you're going to ultimately regret not speaking up.
You got it.
You really have to. And if it didn't bother you and they were coming from people who, were deemed illegal immigrants, they're coming for everyone now. So truly no one is safe. And if you don't think when no one is safe, that's a time to speak up, I guess it would have to be when they're literally knocking on your door. I'm just not sure.
I mean, I don't know if he was straight, but like the white guy legally carrying a gun is getting shit. Like, huh? That's supposed to be
and he's a
you're
nurse
a hero
for veterans.
You're a hero.
Literally a nurse for veterans.
When the NRA is like, guys, we should look into this murder. I'm like, oh, thank you. How big of you? That's nice. But also, if you go to nokings.org/next, there is a toolkit, like Know Your Rights toolkit, and how to take action if you don't know where to go. Because, I'm just taking a lot of these classes. The ACLU.org.
ACLU is great. They'll have, there's the national chapter, but then there's also, there's like New York ACLU, like your city has it. Great place to do. And John Leguizamo
love him.
Just posted something. He is, always very outspoken about all political issues, but especially rights of immigrants. And he posted something yesterday that was like, if every American did 3 of these things, ICE would be stopped in its tracks. And the 5 things, and you just pick 3 of them, is number 1, calling lawmakers, which again I've talked about a lot. I talk about a lot on Without a Country, but just to reiterate, I know sometimes it feels like, is calling your representative a waste of time? It's not. Again, AOC has talked about this a lot because Republicans do a lot more calling their lawmakers than Democrats do. So Democrats, we need to really pick up the pace and call. It takes 2 minutes. Many places provide a script for you, and you can leave a message, or if someone picks up, you just leave a message with the representative. It's not you're calling, and your congressman is not going to pick up himself or herself. It's just going to be someone who works in the office. It's probably like a kid you're talking to if anyone picks up. So there's no reason to feel intimidated. Again, they work for you. You do not work for them. And 2, suggesting to boycott companies that are profiting from and supporting ICE. The list here on this thing that he shared is Home Depot. We know they're problematic.
Fuck off.
What's the other? You can go to like Lowe's. I'm like, what's the alternative?
Lowe's.
If you need something from Home Depot, go to Lowe's instead. So
Menards.
What's that?
That's another
Taylor's
one.
Do It
Is that
Center.
like Midwest?
Oh, it might be the Midwest.
I was never even heard of that. But if you're in the Midwest, hit that. So we're boycotting Home Depot, Target, that's been going on for a while. Amazon, I know that's a hard one.
It's a tough one sometimes, but you know what? You actually can.
And I think
you just got to work a little hard.
I think with Amazon, it's like the same as my approach to eating animals. Just even doing less of it, doing doing 20% less of things that you're just kind of being lazy about. If you can go to the corner store and get whatever anymore, and I know everyone doesn't have a corner store, but whatever that is for you, just taking some of the profit away from Amazon. I realize like these hard asks where just like completely undo your life is sometimes impossible.
Especially if you're
just doing a little bit helps.
Immigrant and don't want to leave your home to go shopping. Yeah, ordering things off Amazon makes sense.
And then Whole Foods was actually on the list as well.
But
they
fucking suck at
Who the hell's shopping there anyway? Who can afford it?
I only use the
Amazon
bathroom there.
owns Whole Foods.
Right.
Okay, so I knew that they had the
lower the prices.
I knew they had the relationship at checkout. I didn't know they fully owned the whole thing. I thought they had a collaboration.
No,
I love how America
It's
monopolies
getting really
aren't
shitty.
legal.
It's getting really shitty now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I do. I go into the Williamsburg Whole Foods to
It's
take
just
it
too
down.
expensive and it's not worth it.
Nope.
And then, so Whole Foods, and the last one is Hilton Hotels. And just because there's a lot of misinformation going on, Paris Hilton and that family, they cut ties with, even though it still has their name, they cut ties with that a long time ago. So please don't come for Paris Hilton. I actually want to talk about her today. She's doing a lot of fabulous work and it just bothers me when people come after her. She's not and like, again, before we just mindlessly come for people, do 10 seconds of research to see it's not, they're like not shareholders anymore. And if they do, they own it's like 1% or something. They were bought out a long, long time ago. Number 3 is prepare your community. A local network of witnesses and whistleblowers can keep families together and save lives. Organize with your neighbors. Know your rights, know theirs. And there's a QR code on this thing that he shared that you can scan for resources. 4, make recurring donations. ACLU is a great one. I have a monthly donation set up for them, but May also suggest the Impact Fund, Immigrant Rights Portfolio, National Immigrant Justice Center, and Immigrant Defense Project. I would just check all of those because I haven't looked them up myself on charitynavigator.org to make sure that they are at least like 4 stars to make sure that the money is going towards the people, not some kind of weird CEO. And I know you're like, oh my God, everything has another step. Yes, everything does have another step. And when we don't take those steps, we end up with fucking ICE breaching the Constitution.
And I think the only reason we're annoyed about extra steps is because we spend most of our time scrolling on a phone.
We spend most of our times,
and then we go, "Where'd my time go?"
And we also went there. Yeah, we also spend like a lot of our time like being apathetic and and calling ourselves heroes for voting. And like voting is the bare minimum we all got to be doing. Yeah. And again, guys, voting works. I promise you. And then 5 is just sharing this on even if you only have 600 followers, whatever, share this with those 600 followers, and then they'll share it, and they'll share it, and then they'll share it, and it'll go on and on and on. It's very important. And I think just even on social media, like sharing stuff like that makes people who are impacted by this, very directly feel less alone in the fight, which I think is really worth something.
Yeah, I took the ACLU class I took last night. It was really interesting. It was just a know your rights class, and two things that I thought. You legally can get in a cop's face. You can be like, pretty close to an officer, a federal agent, a local police officer, to film them. But they said the safe distance that they're observing right now is that if an officer needs to take steps towards you to touch you, that is a safe distance. So if you can, but whiteys, we gotta film. You gotta film everything. Get as close as you safely can. You have to fucking film. Because that is what's causing this outrage. That's what got Greg Bovino fucking demoted or fired or whatever the fuck. And hopefully that's what will get Christy fuckhead traitor to her gender gnome fired and
because this is a problem.
Sent in jail.
This is going to be a problem for the midterms for Republicans for sure.
Yeah, and and also
John Fetterman and his wife are in like a fight basically because he's pro ICE and she's like, I literally lived undocumented for 10 years.
What are we doing? And then there's just other things. So the 4th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that for officers to enter your home, they need a judicial warrant. A judicial warrant is
signed by
a judge. That's what that means, right? They have to present it to you before they enter your home, or they're allowed to enter your home. What ICE has been doing is they're going knocking on doors saying, "I have an administrative warrant." That's not a thing. No one amended the Constitution. We would have heard that by now, and that's a very long process to go through with checks and balances, thank God. So this is just a made-up thing they're saying.
Well, and even before that, they were presenting documents to people, and this is people who maybe English isn't their first language, they're far away, they're scared. To read a legal document under duress. To read a legal document not under duress is extremely challenging. Yes. So to do it under duress is crazy. And I thought one of the good things like, maybe like a month ago, Zoran Mamdani and his administration put out a video showing what a judicial warrant looks like. Nice. And even then, like they did a close-up of it because even before this administrative warrant bullshit fantasy made up stuff, they were kind of basically like making fake documents and like presenting fake things.
Oh, man.
So,
that's not good.
Let me just say, it's not good. It's not a good time in America when we as the people have to know what a real judicial document looks like. That's bad news, guys. That's bad fucking news.
Yeah. They're really swinging low here.
Yeah. And again, like Krystyna and I were talking before we went on air, I do hear a lot of people on the left being like, but that's against the law. That's against the law. Yeah.
Yeah. They're breaking the law.
So
you saw the murders?
We can't, when the administration itself is corrupt, we cannot say they're breaking the law because yes, they are, but it doesn't matter. And people are getting killed in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, until we fast forward to, 3 years from now when we have, Nuremberg trials part 2, what are we doing? As the people of America, because there's more of us than there are of them, to fight this. Like, this is kind of what Republicans and libertarians were worried about. Like, we need a gun to fight the government. Well, it is happening, but it's the liberals who need to do the fighting. So, I literally spent this weekend going out and after my stand-up set, like instead of saying, follow me on Instagram, I was saying go out and learn how to use a gun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I know again that scares people. I'm not saying get a gun. I'm not saying have a gun in your home. A lot of times that causes more danger to the family, especially if you have children.
But if you do get it away from the cop, you should know how to use it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
kind of. You're not wrong.
I'm not saying that you should
Yeah.
do not go out and grab fucking ISIS or cops
can't be
guns.
violent.
Do not do that.
You cannot interfere with an arrest.
You're going to get your head. You're going to get your head blown off, and that's another thing. It's like I do think, and again, we talked about this after the death of Renee Good, and to talk about it again after the death of Alex. I've heard most people saying pretty, but I would say pretty. A lot of people said pretty, like on a big announcement in the stadium in Minneapolis. They even said pretty because I was like, oh, interesting. But whatever it is, whatever pretty. He, we were talking a lot even before that about, white people kind of being used to talk to police officers and ICE kind of however the fuck we want. Well, that has changed. And, 2+ people, ICE has killed a bunch of people, but now 2 people, big scale.
That were supposed to have this privilege.
Are dead.
Yeah.
So I do want to say, we need to be filming. We need to continue talking up. But, realize depending on how close you put yourself to this situation, this is truly life or death.
And that's your own moral compass. I mean,
that's your choice.
Honestly, if we didn't have this every week, I would fucking be down in Minnesota filming. I would just fuck it. Fuck you, dude. I would keep my distance. I wouldn't go. I would try to not be like, a touchable reach from a fucking officer, but you can shoot from a very long distance.
And it's happening everywhere. It's coming. I mean, I think they're coming from Maine. They're Arizona. Yeah. Chicago has it. Like this is happening a lot.
And it's gonna happen more in
New Jersey.
Yeah. Newark is getting fucking pummeled. I thought it was also interesting. Rest in peace, Alex Preddy. You saw in those videos. It's so. Oh my god, my sensitive ass. I don't know how you watch this shit, Corinne. I can't. It ruins me to watch these videos, but I know it's important to watch them so that you have the appropriate amount of anger and rage and, discontentment, because that's what's going to get you to the streets. It's to peacefully protest. Tens of thousands of people in Minnesota peacefully protested on what was it, Saturday? And no one got hurt. No glass doors broke. No cars got stolen. Nothing happened. And then ICE came the next day and just shot.
Yeah, because they want to instill fear, and I think they're really getting off on instilling fear. I mean, I just also reposted this morning. A lot of people are making sure that ICE doesn't sleep. Congregating outside their hotel rooms, making noise at night. An ICE agent pulled down his pants and mooned the people, and that to me just shows
what a fucking loser.
Exactly, a fucking loser, juvenile.
What a fucking loser!
It's a juvenile person with a gun. That is the difference between you living and dying. Like that's really crazy.
Never loved you, and you cannot find a way to feel powerful other than to make other people feel small, and that's pathetic. But the actual you saw with all the bell hook stuff the quotes I've been talking about and stuff, you saw healthy masculinity and toxic masculinity face off in that moment, and the toxic masculinity is so pathetic. Yeah, it's so weak that you feel like you can't defend yourself unless you have a weapon of war pointed, because you are so weak. You are so mentally and emotionally weak that you need a gun to feel like a big boy.
There's a photo. There's one still. There's so many angles of it, but there's one of the most recent photos I saw. So Alex is kind of headed towards the ground, and if you're not watching on YouTube, sorry, but he's kind of go towards this, already in falling or hovering over the woman that he was trying to help, and literally
he was in child's pose.
The ICE agent has a gun to the back of his head. Yep. He's not posing a threat. He has no weapon on him. It's been removed from his person. There's video of at the point of when the gun was removed from his person, and he's on the ground again, and it's to the back of his head, execution style, fully execution style.
10 bullets.
There
for
is
a man lying
fully
on his
execution, and similar to Renee, he was not given medical attention, and they just let him bleed out. I don't know if he could have lived through what he lived through anyway.
I don't know, man.
But he was still living at the time.
And the guy who shot Renee said "fucking bitch." The guy who shot Alex said "boo hoo."
Yeah,
we are being faced right now. The ugliest part of toxic masculinity is we're shining a light on it. It's always been there. It has always been there. But now it's coming to the surface for all of us to see, and we're horrified and we're disgusted, as we should be. And these are the actions we take. You know, you can't, just make sure that you use that anger beneficially, because there are many beneficial ways, like the ones Corinne just read out.
Real fucked up. But
Anyways.
yes.
Oh, I was gonna just promote something since we're coming.
We're not there yet.
Oh, I thought we were at the end of the.
Oh yeah,
promotion.
I was talking about.
we were
promoting. Yeah, we just kind of went into. I just went into my personal.
I feel like that wasn't the great time, but go
No,
ahead, Eric.
no, never mind. Well, if you want to see my stand-up comedy special on LMFAO or my dick, go and subscribe to my OnlyFans.
You started one?
Yeah.
You buried the lead?
You have to.
share this with us?
Oh no, but your dick,
Your
dick is on OnlyFans?
I haven't put my dick on.
I
OnlyFans
understand
yet,
what you're
but
saying. You had to start an OnlyFans for this. Again, they are sex trafficking comedians allegedly, but we want to support Eric. But oh my God, there was something else I saved about OnlyFans, and this older woman who he had on the podcast a while ago. I came across a clip of her talking about how fucking terrible they are. God, I have to pull this up.
Yeah,
this is good. Is this good promotion for your OnlyFans?
Sure.
thing?
I mean, truthfully,
Eric
I'm
is a piece of
I'm a little offended because I didn't see any guys we fucked users. It was only gooners from my DMs that were.
Because they didn't know.
They don't know. Okay, well, go to the link in my Instagram bio.
You actually have the OnlyFans app.
Also, stop touching the
it's not
mic
an app.
weird.
Sorry.
How are you touching that?
My bad. It was sliding downwards, so I was
okay.
tightening it.
But yeah, no. Oh gosh, who was? This was a interesting.
A comic?
No. It was an older woman that we had on, and she was just having a conversation about how bad this is. Where I do group everything here, and then I never can find it when I need it. Damn it.
The percentage they take is very high.
Yeah.
How high?
20.
Oh yeah, manager and an agent's 10.
Well,
And a lawyer's 10.
And I think basically like the meat of the conversation that they were having on this podcast about OnlyFans is that, it was a bunch of men started it basically to be a
Capitalize.
digital pimp for female sex workers. And they were like, what? Are women making money without us? We absolutely have to stop that. And that was kind of like what was going on.
Okay, we need a woman in tech to make an alternative to OnlyFans.
I think there are a number.
Oh, really? Good.
There's Fansley. Who?
Okay, make a better name.
Vansley.
Fansley.
Oh, Fansley. Okay. All right. That's not
There's
like
a number of
the
them.
worst. And then, sorry, are you done with your promoting? I do want you to support Eric, but I do also.
So your comedy special is up?
Yeah, I mean it's not up yet.
Oh,
it's
coming.
Strap's up.
Okay.
So you
No, how far
Is
did
your
you
dick in
go?
the thirst?
I didn't put my dick in there yet.
You just
Yes.
did your
I
abs?
don't know. Well, so I just did some old modeling photos that I never posted.
Old?
Yeah.
How old?
I was like 19.
Oh, okay. I was like, please, hopefully when you were 18 or up.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
posting
Jesus Christ.
You're not. No, I'm not going to.
You're not allowed. How would they know?
They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They wouldn't care. And then I just really quickly wanted to shout out AOC and
Love her.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah, I
and
saw they did a thing
I
together.
think it's bipartisan. So I want to shout out the Republican too, who I believe her name is Laurel Lee.
Nice.
Congresswoman Laurel Lee, proudly representing Florida District 15. Because this is bipartisan, but that's the Defiance Act, which is about AI and like consensual edits. The Defiance Act is the Disrupt Explicit Forged Images and Non-Consensual Edits Act. It's passed the Senate unanimously this month, providing civil recourse for victims of non-consensual deepfake pornography.
Oh, good, because I have a couple of people that follow me on Instagram that I need to sue.
By allowing them to sue creators and distributors, with current efforts focused on getting it passed by the House. And then it says, this is why you can't trust AI, because when you just do the Google search, it says for President Biden's signature. I was like, wishful thinking. It will have to be passed by the House and then get Donald Trump's signature. And I do wonder if he'll even sign off on it, because I feel like he could probably get sued somehow for something that's going on in this. And this is a bipartisan bill that expands existing laws to give survivors tools to seek justice for AI-generated explicit images. And I just thought that was really cool. And of course, in the comments, as usual, a bunch of idiots being like, of course, Paris Hilton had to get full glam for this. It's like, again, good for Paris. She has been doing so much advocacy work lately. And there are so many famous people who do absolutely nothing positive with them. I could name almost every fucking male comedian if you would like me to. Talking about people who do absolutely nothing with their money, with their platform, with their power, like absolutely nothing. And it's also so fucked up because if Paris Hilton had shown up to that press conference with Laurel Lee and AOC without makeup, there would have also been
bitch. What is she, sick?
A bunch of comments about that as well.
Yeah, women can be hot and smart.
Again, this is a really incredible thing. It's nice to have something that's bipartisan now. I think that's great. And then people were coming for AOC, like, is this really the time? It's like, well, yeah,
it's not the time.
This is something they've been working on for a long time, first of all, and like it passes the Senate whenever it passes the Senate. She doesn't have control over that. AOC doesn't have control over that. And secondly, we can't stop working on all the pursuits we have. Like, yes, we all have to be speaking out about ICE, but like that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to be so distracted by the chaos in the streets that you stop dealing with everything else so they can just get away with crime after crime. Like, do not let that happen. And certainly don't take away from people who are continuing to do whatever good work in whatever field they have been working in for a long time. Like, let them continue to do that. I'm not saying it like at the cost of not, posting a fucking Instagram story saying fuck ICE or something, but we can't stop doing the things that we have always been doing.
You know what I'm having a hard time with?
What?
Every time I fucking post about this stuff, which is, pretty often, there are, and one woman, but mostly men, that are like, Alex Preddy deserved to die. Renee Good deserved to die. You know who deserves to die? The rage I have towards the people that still think ICE is doing a good thing. You are fucking wrong and you're fucking stupid. You just are. There's just you're fucking stupid and you're anti-human. And I'm sorry you hate yourself, but like keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself or fucking change.
A lot of those people are bots though too. Just be careful.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. So just don't get mad over. Make sure you're not getting mad over a bot.
Well, I don't want to get mad over a bot. I don't want a bot to waste my fucking time. How is this happening?
This has been happening. I mean, this had an impact on the election.
The 2016 election.
Yes.
So there's a good percentage.
How do I can tell if it's a bot?
You can also
they have profile picture, but a lot of them are private.
Yeah, they have profile pictures, but a lot of them are bots.
And
I assure you.
A lot of them are troll accounts.
Yeah, and exactly accounts. You can tell when they have it's like they have 30 followers.
So they're not even actual people.
Most of them are probably not.
So there's a lot of bots, and there's a lot of people who have
I'm sorry, I take it back, baby.
Who have basically like a Finsta, but the Finsta is literally just for trolling. So
just to piss people off.
So whatever it is, whatever you're for, they're going to be against.
Okay, because the Republican Party is putting a lot of money into influencers. Oh, yeah. So they're putting money into these bots.
The Democratic Party is now too, and if you follow enough
give us
people,
some. We're promoting you for free.
Everyone is.
Everyone is. Well, finally, I mean, Democrats are late to the game. I mean, and again, I'm not necessarily. I don't love it because it's basically like.
Don't speak your mind. Speak what we pay you to say.
Yeah, exactly, because it's kind of like they're paying people to have like specific talking points. Like today's Democratic talking points for female liberal creators was to post a sexy picture of yourself and say like how I was able to make a 7-figure income. I just saw that post. Just being so that's them making money from the Democratic Party. They're being paid, yes. And again, like they are sharing good and real information, and then when you swipe, it's just things how to fight ICE. And so I get the tactic,
and they're responding to the Republicans.
I just don't love I do think the Democrats need like a uniform, like we need to agree on what the fuck the messaging is, which is, there's some feedback I had when we were at the ICE march. Because I'm just I'm like, guys,
stick to the topic.
I was like, there's a lot of topics here and we really need to stick to one. And also I found it to be like very overly religious, which was very weird. And like just a smattering of religions. And I was like, this is just like humanity. It has actually nothing to do with religion. And if you need religion to make make it clear that you're not fighting people in the streets, I don't even know where to help you. Like, are you even religious at all? But yeah, it's. I do believe that the Democrats need to really like get uniformity on like what the message is, what it is we're fighting for, because there's so much infighting. But I kind of just like, as a free thinker, I just have a little bit of a problem with like, you know, people getting emailed like, this is our talking point for today, everyone make a video on it. I don't know. It just kind of feels kind of fucking lame to me.
Yeah, it's fucking
but
lame.
I don't want to. I don't want to be super like critical of overall what is the, you know, a good message.
Yeah.
But just like be aware of that. Just be really aware of the information that you're taking in, where it's coming from, who's paying for it.
People getting paid by Democrats, do they have to disclose that, or are they not disclosing that?
Nobody is.
No, but there was an article. So Taylor Lorenz did a big article that caused a lot of infighting about a couple of months ago, revealing. And the thing is, like,
I would feel a little tricked though if
it's
I
like
found
dark.
out.
And the problem is, I believe like the if I have to remember correctly, the problem was like some of the funding was dark money, meaning that you can't tell the exact source of it. And that's the
weird.
problem.
It happens a lot
Because
with
when you
these
don't know
real
who's
ones.
paying for it, you don't know who's controlling or attempting to control your mind, and that's the problem. The problem is not that, you know, creators are getting paid for doing work. You know, I mean, obviously, like, you know, political organizers need to be paid, you know, at a certain point, because how can you survive?
Sure.
But you don't want to be paid for someone who is then controlling the message when you were previously a free thinker, who is kind of conveying your own thoughts. Like that's my concern. So again, it's just like, just put a pin in it. Just know that that's happening. When you start following enough people, you'll see that the messaging is the same. Like, and you see it on the right all the time. Like, I was on Threads and I saw word for word, punctuation for punctuation, grammar for grammar, this thread, you know, about one of ICE's executions, and it was obviously meant to get people really amped up. And I think liberals are still taking the bait a ton for trolls. And like, even like, so even when
I'm doing it.
Well, even when I showed up at the, I don't know if the person was still there when you came, but like when I showed up at the, you know, anti-ICE march on Friday, you know, it is a role in protests where a volunteer will just stand with a sign that says right-wing troll with an arrow pointing to them and trying to stop people from engaging and taking the bait. And that was happening at Union Square on Friday.
See, when it's so planned like that, like if I know
corny.
that, yeah, it's so lame that like, I'm not mad at that. I'm not giving you my attention.
Yeah, and these people just want views, and they know that they can monetize views. And so I know it's hard to not engage when someone is saying hateful things, but like they're monetizing your emotions.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Don't let them do that.
That's now going to make me
can
way
show
less
you
angry
some
because I'm
really
petty as hell.
obvious
Yeah, Eric,
petty as hell.
yeah, I feel like Eric, you're like really like the master of like knowing that kind of
I'll
stuff.
show you some
Give me-
really
yeah.
obvious ones. There's like a few like guys who I like keep tabs on. And I'm just like, this is so fun, because I'm like, as soon as they post it, then I'm like, I'm gonna see this a million places.
Yeah, you know, it's like the start of it.
Interesting.
And then real quick, but while we're talking about political organizing, I have to promote the most important thing that I'm doing next month, which is the ticket link is officially up. And my love to Pima County, because I just saw that ICE shot someone who's in critical condition in Pima County, Arizona. I will be coming there Saturday, February 21st. I will be at Club Congress in Tucson, Arizona, for one of what it hopefully will be many Pageant to the People shows. Pageant to the People is a show that I created, you know, in conjunction with the Pima County Democratic Party, but hopefully we'll be, you know, traveling to many Democratic parties in this great nation and talking to elected officials. But basically, I'm hosting a town hall with elected officials. It'll be the mayor and 2 city council members for this particular iteration of it. And we're going to have real questions. Like I said, I'm going to ask real hard questions that the constituents want to know answers to. If you're in the audience, you will also put a mic. You can ask questions. We're going to humanize our elected officials, but we are also going to make them answer real questions. We're not doing Jimmy Fallon style interview softball questions where we yuck it up with Trump. Absolutely not doing that. And additionally, I'm trying to make political fundraisers more accessible. So like the tickets to this are like a little bit more than what you would pay to see me in a stand-up show. But if you include the 2-drink minimum, it's like equal or maybe even a little bit less depending on how much you drink. And all the money is going towards the Pima County Democratic Party. It's not going to me. I'm doing this for a stipend. So it's a fundraiser. It's an accessible fundraiser. As I was talking about online, like usually these kind of events cost like $250 a ticket minimum, which is a problem because that means that it's rich people who have the ears of their elected officials. Unless you're someone who's showing up regularly to town halls, which you're probably not, because a lot of them are disorganized, boring, canceled at weird times. And so this is a town hall, but it also is a talent show where elected officials will be sharing their talents with us, like they are running for Miss America. You can also register to vote at this event. And if you're interested in running for office, there will be support from the Pima County Democratic Party to figure out how you can do that. Because if you want to run for office, people want young, fresh, talented people or older, fresh, talented people to run for office, and they will support you. And there are resources for that, but you just have to reach out and let them know. But like, again, this is very similar to the entertainment business in that people will develop you as a candidate. If you kind of feel like, I think I would be a great political candidate, I don't really know where to start, there is support for that thing in almost every city, and certainly in Tucson and Pima County. So come on to that. The link is in my Linktree bio. And I'll see you February 21st in Tucson, Arizona, baby. Haven't been to Arizona in a while, so looking forward to it.
Enjoy that warmth. Mm-hmm. You know who else is warm?
Today's guest.
Oh, yeah.
What a guy.
What a guy. I love a unique person.
Right.
I like a genuinely unique person.
Yeah.
There's no trying to be unique with this man.
Born this way.
It just is.
This is what Lady Gaga's song was about.
20 going on 80. Mm-hmm. Just talk of the town in this studio after he left. He was the talk of the town. He's the talk of the town, and you're going to love him. What a guy. He's a stand-up comedian, and he has a really interesting story, and he's just a really interesting person. I think you're going to love our time with him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Guy David Knoll.